This is the budget program when you open it up. It starts on the Setup tab, and as you can see, there's several other tabs, but don't be alarmed. It's not that confusing. It does take a little bit to get set up, but once it's set up, most of these tabs disappear, and you only really work with one tab. So this budget program is based off the envelope system, and essentially it's, if you look back at our grandparents' days, where they get paid and they come home with the physical cash in their hand, and they had physical envelopes that they would stick the cash into, and whenever they went to spend the money, they go to that envelope and take that money out, and then once the envelope was empty, you couldn't spend any more money. So essentially, the envelope system attempts to not allow you to go in debt, not to go in the red. So that's the philosophy behind this budgeting program, and hopefully you'll be able to see how that works for you. There's several other different philosophies in budgeting, like month-end reporting, year-end reporting. So you just got to find the one that works best for you. So with this program, you'll notice that there are several tabs, but don't be alarmed. It is simple to use. It just takes a little bit to get set up, but once you get through the setup process, it is quite easy. And you'll also notice as we go through the setup process that the yellow cells are what you need to edit and update and what you can change. If you notice, like if I try to click somewhere else, it's not letting me change from the yellow cells. But so you can only change those yellow cells. So on the setup tab, you're editing information that isn't going to change very frequently, and you'll see what that is as we go through. But essentially, so this first part, and you can read all this wording as you go if you want to just pause the video and read, but I'm not going to just read that for you. I'll just kind of explain how to fill this in, and you can do what you want if you want to read that information or not. So this first information that it's looking for is your income information, and this budget program is set up to handle two incomes. If you are just a single person and you don't need two incomes, you can just delete those yellow cells so you only have one income. Sorry. And you can name these incomes whatever you want. You can do it by husband and wife's name. So it could be something like that. You could name a specific job, like the engineer or nurse. You can name maybe by the company. So you see what I'm saying? You can, however you want to identify that income, it will carry through for the rest of the budget. So in this example, let's just do the names. So John will be the primary income and Jane will be the secondary income. Since this is in Excel, you can use the Excel formulas that are the plus, minus, adding, subtracting, multiplication, division, and any of the functions that Excel provides. So if let's say that if Jane is a salaried employee and she knows she makes $25,000 a year gross, but her net, she may know specifically what her paycheck is. Maybe it's $875.23 every paycheck, and let's say she gets paid. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so she gets paid bi-weekly, so she'll have 26 paychecks throughout the year, and that looks about right, where your net income will always be less than your gross. So you can budget, and you really should budget to the nearest penny. So this is a rounded example. Maybe John's income, he makes $350 a week. So you do an equal sign, 350 times 52, and so that's his income. So John gets paid weekly, and Jane gets paid bi-weekly. Once you have your incomes set up, and again, this information carries through for the rest of the budget, so you only have to set this up once, and then you only have to change it again when your income changes. So we'll scroll down to the second piece of information, which is tithing. Again, you can read through this later if you'd like. You can choose whether you want to tithe on your net income or your gross income. I'm just going to choose net, and you can update the percentage if you want to tithe 50%, or those that don't tithe at all, you can put 0, but I'm going to leave it as 10%. And then finally, the pay period, identifying how often you get paid. So in our example, John was paid weekly, so I'll click the drop down and change that to weekly, and Jane was paid bi-weekly. So once that's set up, all of my questions are answered. I can press save and hide, and this saves the information, and it'll hide the tab, so the setup tab will go away. And as you'll see on other tabs here, you can bring the setup tab back up if you need to change that information. But that is essentially the budgeting tool in a nutshell, the philosophy behind it, and how to set up the setup tab. I'll have a video for each tab, and if you have any questions, leave a comment or send me an email. Thanks.